Hi, I'm Amy Baxter, editor of Retail Leader, and welcome to Trend Talk. Every week on Trend Talk, we identify a retail trend and break it down with an industry insider. This week, we're diving into the men's apparel sector to learn more about a men's suit brand known for its bold styles and one that's expanding into some major retailers. My guest is Montee Tayion Holland, president and CEO of the Tayion Collection. So welcome, Montee. Thanks so much for joining me. I would love if you could introduce yourself and your brand.
Well, my name is Montee Holland, and I'm the owner of the Tayion Collection, and Tayion happens to be my middle name. I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So I want to kind of jump in with just like the look of your suits, and I was hoping you could tell me, what's different about the Tayion Collection from the rest of menswear, and tell me what you love about the aesthetic and just what are the suits like in general.
Okay, so the difference with a Tayion suit versus all of the other suits. And I guess I can best answer that by telling you one of our taglines. One of our taglines is, well, the custom suit meets the ready-to-wear suit. So all of the characteristics that one would find in a custom suit, you can find in our suit. Meaning, the design, obviously, is different from traditional suits. The fabrications, in many cases, will be different from most ready-to-wear suits. And then the attention to detail. Everything from the linings to the stitching, the contrast stitchings, the buttonholes, those types of things set us apart from traditional ready-to-wear suits. You can tell a Tayion suit by just looking at it closely.
Yeah, even just online, I can tell. Super cool.
Appreciate it.
So I want to also just kind of start with the most recent news of your company, which is an expansion. So can you tell me how and where the brand is expanding? I know you're in Macy's and Men's Warehouse stores.
Well, it's very exciting because we've now launched in two of the biggest retail stores in the country, arguably the world, both being Macy's and Men's Warehouse. So Men's Warehouse, we're in 50 locations across the country, as well as Macy's.com. And in Men's Warehouse, we're in 50 locations as well. And we'll be launching a 630 store all-door custom program in Men's Warehouse for fall 22.
Yeah, I want to ask you more about that. So, what's involved in the customization? Like, what does a customer go through if they want to get a custom suit?
Okay, so we have, like I said, we have a beautiful ready-to-wear line that is very unique, very different. I call it conservative with a twist, as well as, the pieces that set you apart from your contemporaries. However, there are going to be places that we don't have, number one, stores in those areas, and our traditional customer. So in an effort to do a couple of things, number one, allow those people in those places where we don't have that distribution to have access to what we offer. We're going to have a custom program, primarily designed for black tie events, weddings, and those types of special occasions, so that everybody that's in an area where there's a Men's Warehouse can have access to it. And our belief is that those customers will then get a taste of Tayion and they'll never go back.
Cool. So with the customization, is that something that you're seeing, is that really timely trend that you're seeing, or, what's out there in the space of fashion trends right now that makes it now a good time to launch more of the customization?
Well, it's a great idea. Well, Men's Warehouse is very aggressive in their diversity and inclusion efforts. And with that in mind, they said, listen, Montee, we don't want to bring you onto our portfolio and tell you how to do it. So we want to offer it to all of our customers. And that's where we started with the custom program. But also, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Men's Warehouse represents a large portion. I think it's upwards of 80% of all the tuxedos in the wedding world. So they want to make sure that for these special occasions, you have the right product for the moments that matter, and that is the Tayion garment. So we want to offer a nice program for their custom base.
How does that change your business, adding a custom program?
Well, I don't think I've never had an issue with ideas and concepts. So it's just going to add to what we already have. And what I mean by that is there's going to be those special fabrications, those special looks that are for those moments that matter, like black tie events, weddings, proms, graduations, those types of things. So you'll see similar looks, but you'll see more shawl lapels, for instance. You'll see more, bold patterns. You'll see those types of things. You'll see satin lapels, those types of things that are in that traditional special event category, but with our Tayion twist added to it. So it's just in addition to our current model, and it's something that we've always done, and we just never brought it to the larger platform as the big box retailers.
So I also want to jump back a little bit. So how did you get into these major retailers? I think like every small brand wants to know this answer. How'd you get into Macy's and Men's Warehouse?
Well, that we have to go back a long time to answer that question. We launched our Tayion brand in 2003 into the stores. So we sold specialty stores. We sold literally thousands of specialty stores across the country. And for those who don't know, specialty stores are mom and pop type stores, your local downtown stores, your local stores in the neighborhood that are, really where the rubber meets the road. So we built up a great reputation within that world, and we were being watched by some of the larger manufacturers, one of them being Peerless. Peerless is the number one manufacturer of men's tailor clothing, I believe, in the world, but certainly in America. They have brands like Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, Michael Kors, DKNY, you name it, they have it. Now they have Tayion. So several years back, the president of Peerless, had his eye on me, and we started a conversation. Well, right before the pandemic, he and I were talking. I was invited to a diversity workshop at Macy's, where they had 3,000 applicants. We were one of 15 that was invited. We went there for a week to New York, and we learned how to do business with the big box and how to scale properly, how to work the math, the whole deal. And they liked me, I liked them. We started talking about how I could ultimately be in the stores, but we were going to start with just the .com business. Well, at the same time, Peerless and I were talking about how we could partner and diversify their portfolio, as well as help them to diversify the portfolios of the big box guys. Well, the world turned upside down with the pandemic. And then on top of that, the civil unrest happened, and these stores, meaning the big box stores, said, hey, what can we do to help us through this tough time? And some smart person decided to say, we need more minority and or diverse vendors. Someone said my name. We did a deal with Peerless, did a deal with them, and here we are.
What's your advice to smaller brands that also want to get into major retailers? Would you advise them to go through also like some workshop application? Obviously,
Yes.
That was a fabulous opportunity.
Several things. Number one, get started, stay focused, discipline with a little bit more discipline, meaning you only lose when you stop. So never ever stop, never ever waver in your commitment and your passion to grow your brand, but learn the business, learn how the big box stores do business, because you can have the hottest garments in the world, but if you don't understand the business of fashion, you will fail. And if you don't understand how the big box stores do business, you will also fail because you won't know how to service them. So I say learn as much as you can, but you have to continue to push, continue to move forward, and then expand your network. Learn some of the players within the big box arena, learn some of the players within the larger manufacturer arenas. If you're going to finance it yourself, learn how you could strategically do it by way of maybe strategically partnering with factories, or start learning about the licensing model, because that's a model that can maybe help you finance it without, putting yourself at risk of going out of business. So there's a lot of learning. It may sound very technical and a lot to it, but it goes back to that word I used, discipline, and never wavering and never quitting and just pushing forward.